Yes. Hello, everyone. We've been gone a while, couple months, but we're back. Premier League predictions. Premier League starts on Friday. I'm back with Karen and George. Um, before we get into it, how you guys doing for the
I'm good.
Euros?
Tired.
I'm good. It's a busy time in my life. I'm getting married, so there's a lot of stuff to get going.
Congratulations.
Thank you. There's we're trying to do wedding planners now, and we're trying to. It's so expensive. It's so expensive to do a wedding. It's ridiculous.
So I've heard. But yeah, Euros done. A month to the day the Euros are done. The league starts in 2 days. The players have barely had any rest. Before we get into it, what have your thoughts been on Arsenal's pre-season and other teams if you want to talk about them? But I know you've watched a lot of Arsenal, so what are your thoughts on the pre-season?
I thought it was really good. I think it's kind of strange. I think this is now the second preseason in a row that we've had a really tough schedule. Like if you look at the teams, it's been like all incredible teams, generally speaking. And I think I don't know. It seemed really weird. Like we flicked a switch since coming back from the UK. I thought in America it was fine to see different things. We were trying new things. I didn't see a lot of intensity in terms of what we were doing out of possession. The games were pretty passing you by, to be honest with you. There's only one tactic that I saw consistently of this season, which is just consistent switches either side, us being a lot more willing to throw in half space crosses, Bukayo attacking the back post with a lot more regularity, and then kind of that switch at left center back in terms of having our left back operate a little bit more at the left center back zone, which we saw last year with Kivior and Gabriel. To be fair, people forget, like, this isn't something crazy new, but it was a lot more emphasized in these meetings. But yeah, once we got back to the UK, I just felt like we took a step up intensity wise, just out of possession, and now our press is back to what it was when we ended the season. I don't think that we start the first couple months of the campaign in a zonal press, which is what I think lost us the league last year. But that's what we did last year, and I think this year we seem to be really intent on like making sure that our out of possession plays where we left off, as opposed to maybe doing it zonal for a bit and then having the energy to sustain that throughout the season. But yeah, no, it's been exciting, man. I'm not gonna lie. I think we've looked the best team. Period. I've had glimpses of Chelsea, glimpses of United, glimpses of City. I think that we mean business. We really do. And I think what we did against Leverkusen was impressive, very impressive. That's not a shit team. And like, I don't care what people say about preseason. By the way, they start at the same time as we start. That's a team that had the best central progression in Europe last year and couldn't touch us. And that's not something that just goes away of fitness. That's muscle memory. So it was a very impressive performance.
I mean, the preseason is very simple. I just think that this is a very different preseason than it has been in the past because of the Euros and the impact of not having players back and not being able to play certain players together, and then the impact on the transfer window as well. It means that you can't gel as well as you would say last season when we had Rice in early, we had Timber in early, we had our signings basically done by the time preseason even rolled around. So it's not the same sort of vibe as it was. The other thing is there's been a clear emphasis on trying to resurrect or re-energize our left-hand side this preseason in terms of, as George mentioned, the left centre-back role and making sure that we have players that are more adept in sort of progressing the ball through the left-hand side, trying to free up our main outlet in Martinelli a bit more. I think that is a major, something we all wanted throughout the entirety of last season. We wanted that. So we'll see if Marino does get done, that's another addition. But with what we saw with Zinchenko, especially in the Lyon game, with his ability just to play outside the block and just try to dictate from a bit deeper, that allows us to be a bit more expansive on the left-hand side, a bit more dynamic as well. So that's good to see. I mean, we saw some nice injury returns from Jesus. He looks sharpish. Like he looked decent enough, but I'm still not that convinced. But we'll see what he produces this season, because if he can get back to some sort of production levels for us, then that would be a real aid.
Mate, that's the best Partey's looked in years.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
an
the next
exaggeration.
thing about
It's not
Partey.
years.
Partey, in terms of his ability just to release, in terms of his switching, in terms of his ability just to pump the ball through the lines and just either play on the floor or in the air, he looked a lot better on the ball than he has since, I would say, the City game on New Year's Day back those a couple of years ago. That's how good he looked. He looked very, very good. But I just think that in terms of preseason, I just think there's not enough players back fully, like to integrate, just to see the levels that we could get to, and the transfers aren't done, etc., etc. But we're at a level now that I'm not worried about going to the start of the season. Whereas years before, I'd be like, this could go wrong, that could go wrong. We do have a couple of big tests coming up as well, so that will be interesting to see how we navigate that. So we'll see. I mean, there's going to be a lot of question marks, especially going to Villa Park on match day 2, seeing how we can actually make sure that we can get through that test, as it was, quickly and efficiently. So, and they're improved as well. So, as we'll talk about in a sec. So, looking forward to it. Really, there's not really much to talk about in terms of evolution, I would say. I think there's been a much more higher emphasis on switching, which is really nice to see. I think that's the major takeaway. There's been some nice build-up things in terms of having a bit more of a 4-man in the middle of the park with the 3-4 with basically the goalkeeper coming between the centre backs, causing that 3 but a 4 instead of like a 3 as it used to be. A bit more emphasis on progression through the middle, and a lot of emphasis on releasing to a bit quicker and to the left as well. So those are some key takeaways from the preseason for me. Odegaard, obviously, and this is the other thing with the ability that Mourinho, if he does come in, which we think he will, the ability that he has to not take a lot of touches, it'll provide a really nice balance between a high volume touch versus a low volume touch midfielder, and really create some nice balances in build up, which will be nice to see in terms of just being able to break through blocks and break through presses. It'll be much more easier for us this season, especially with a bit more freedom in that build up. So we'll see what happens.
Okay, and getting into the predictions, before we get into the table, I wanted to ask you guys about the awards. First, I'd say, who do you think is going to be the top scorer of the 24-25 season?
For Arsenal, yeah, or the Premier League?
No, Erling.
For the whole league.
Yeah, Erling.
Saka.
Huh?
Saka.
You think Saka's going to score more goals than Haaland?
I don't think Haaland's going to score as many goals this season.
Damn, that's a bold prediction. So that means you think Saka's going to be our top scorer as well, then? Okay. How many goals do you think he will score?
I think he'll get to 18 to 22 in the league, something around that.
You think 22 will win the Golden Boot?
I think so. I think the league's going to be too competitive, and we'll get into this in the predictions, but I don't think that it's easy to predict from 3rd all the way to 8th, potentially even 10th. There's it's an incredibly difficult league. I think there's only one team that I see almost guaranteed for me to go down, and that's Leicester. And then other than that, I really think that everybody's got a shout to be in this league. So I think it's improved. Like, look at West Ham, look at Villa's windows, look at Solanke in terms of Spurs. Like, look at the moves that have happened with Newcastle, potentially Gahey going there. There's a lot of moving parts that Brighton, the business that Brighton have done. It's been really, really good. And I just think it's not a shoo-in that, the Chelseas and the Uniteds of this world are going to get Europe, in my opinion. I really think that that's really underestimating the work that's been done right now from some of the other teams who have had a brilliant window. I mean, you could argue West Ham have won the transfer window so far in terms of looking at what their signings have been. Yeah, Aston Villa have had incredible signings. Maatsen, Samuel Ling Jr., Barankia, Onana.
Jadon Philogene.
Yeah, Philogene. Like, they've had some serious recruitment. And I mean, Brighton, didn't they get Kajioglu? Who else did Brighton get? Matt's Weifer. That's some serious quality. I mean, those are players that were potentially going to, well, at least linked with Arsenal and Liverpool, respectively, for quite a while. So, I really think that the league is going to be incredibly competitive, and I actually don't think that we get this blowout campaign. I think that there's going to be a lot of tight goal margins. I think it might be one of the more lower scoring seasons in the Premier League broadly.
Okay. Saka. I think that's actually from the span in the works for me. But okay, so who do you think is going to be the top assister then in the league?
Haas is going to love this, but Odegaard or KDB. I haven't decided.
You have to pick.
I think KDB if I had to pick one.
You think KDB gets most assists, but Haaland doesn't get top goal scorer?
Yeah, because I don't think their team is going to funnel through one's goal scoring. I think they're going to spread goals a lot more this season.
Makes sense. Karen?
I'm going to go Palmer, you know. I'm going to go Palmer. He got 11 last year.
Yeah.
He's the second last year. And I think they will score goals. I think they're just going to be really leaky defensively. Maresca is very, very aggressive in terms of his in possession stuff, and
they could set records.
But they're leaky. They're incredibly leaky out of possession. So I think they will score goals, and he's probably their main creator. So I'm going to go with Palmer.
I think I'm going to go Ollie Watkins.
I mean, he did win it last year.
Yeah. I just think the way their attack is and how free-flowing it is, the outlets, I just think a lot of teams leave a lot of gaps.
Do you not think that he starts to score a lot more in that team with like Onana coming in, being able to platform? Like, do you think they play the same? I mean, if they end up getting Gertruida as well, Emery really likes his fullbacks high and wide, right? Like, do you think like Ollie Watkins did a lot of work deep because they basically platformed Moussa Diaby as well as, Leon Bailey last year.
Yeah.
To be the scorers. Like, do you think they get Ollie Watkins back in the box this year and they try to have creativity through other means? I mean, they've got that amazing pivot. I think
they've been playing Jacob Ramsey on the left, and the way he scores goals is really Watkins pinning the centre back, laying it off, and he scores a lot from layoffs. And if he has the good campaign, I think he will have. I think a lot of assists will come from Watkins. I don't think there'll be anyone on that 15 assists. I think it will be a close.
I mean, last year the top was 13.
13, yeah. I think there'll be 11s. Like Saka should have won it last year, but he got an 8 by like February and didn't get.
I'll say this: if we sign a centre forward, I think Saka gets the top assister.
If
we do sign a centre forward,
if we sign who I want us to sign,
Odegaard. We want to sign. We want to sign.
But specifically him, because I think
he gets top assister.
Yeah, I don't think because Saka becomes more of a scorer with him in the team as well. I think, and I think Saka's become more of a killer. Like, I think he's legitimate. The way he's attacking the back post, I think that we're going to ask him to do a little bit less facilitation. We're going to ask him to finish moves a bit more. He's going to be one of the solutions.
I mean, we have been pushing that back post finish a lot this preseason, so I wouldn't be surprised at all.
But look, Mourinho could get a lot of assists with Saka. That back post from a half space kind of floating. Yeah, that's going to be.
There's a lot of assists to Havertz, well, not assists, big chances created to Havertz, but
he can't hit the ball.
Yeah, player of the season.
Saka, like, I mean, if I've got him top score, like, I think he's going to be the man for Arsenal this season. I think this is our year, and so I think he's going to be rewarded with that.
I'm going Martin. I think it'll be Martin. I think the way that it just works for him, he's the leader on the pitch. The votes just go for him. Like, the last 2 player of the seasons have been him. I think he's in the PFA Player of the Season voting.
Unfairly, he should have won it last year, Saka.
I don't know. I think he will win it, but I think it should be Saka. If you're talking about who it should be Saka.
Chris, did you think that Odegaard should have won player of the season last year?
No,
22 or 23, maybe.
I think the voters, like even 22, 23, when Foden won
He
young
went
player of
from
the
a
year,
he went through a 3 to 4 month period from basically August to November where he was really poor,
Yeah.
really poor. And Saka
they
was
rolled in
brilliant.
the second half of the season, really. But like Palmer, obviously, it made sense why he was in both. He was
Oh,
nearly
I'm
top
talking about
scorer.
Arsenal, not
I know.
like
Oh, Arsenal play. I thought
But
Saka
the
should have
fact
won
that
it.
Saka wasn't even top
I
three,
knew he
should
would have been
say, to be
second.
honest.
I knew he was going to be second, but I thought he should have won it. I think he should have won it probably the last 3 years. Yeah, the
I
last
think
3.
because last year I think was the only time we've seen Saka go 7 games without a goal contribution, and that was in December when everybody was really poor. Other than that, that boy's been performing. And by the way, that was December, so that was a period of like 2.5 weeks, and people are propping up a season in which for roughly 3 months he was quite poor. Like I don't understand. He was brilliant post December, but so was Saka. Saka and Odegaard reached very good levels after January. So yeah, no, I don't know. I think
I think
I
he
was
had more of a
frustrated
case
with that.
22 23 than he did 23 24, personally.
Okay, I've got 3 more young player of the season.
Ooh, but
Mm,
who counts again? Can you remind me? Because it's
Under
always going to go.
21s. So 21 and under. So like,
it would have been Bob, but it looks like he's broken his leg.
yeah, Bob has broken his leg. How old's Harvey Elliott?
He's young, but do you think he gets?
He's
he's got-
21.
Is he 21?
Harvey Elliott is in this show. I don't think we have any 21s though that would be in the mix.
No,
No,
Ethan's
no,
too
no.
young.
Yeah.
Do you think Mikey Moore? Do you think he gets enough? I
He
mean,
doesn't
don't
get
think
enough
so.
game time.
Yeah.
They have too many players in the positions for him to get enough minutes.
Is how old's Enciso? Is he 21?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, I think he's 20, I think.
He's 20. Yeah.
Okay, my outside shout would be Julio Enciso.
How old's Kwanzaa?
Jarrell Quansah.
He's young. I think he's almost 20.
Because the thing is, right,
He's
the reason why I
21.
say that is because Konate's always injured and they kind of love him a lot. And
He'll be 22 in January, so I don't know if it counts. But how about Badger
No,
Touch
it
for
counts.
Liverpool?
It's what you are at the start of the season.
I don't know.
So-
I'm still thinking.
Stevan Bajatic is actually, I think, you know what? I'm going to change, not Enciso. I think Bajatic will be up there. I like Mafio's suggestion of Minta. I think he'll have a really, really good season as well. I rate Bajatic so highly. I think that's Liverpool's best 8 prospect that they've had in a while. I think he is
I
incredible.
was going to go Jaden Philogene, but he's 22.
I was going to go with Edding Jr., but I don't think he counts either.
No, I think Minta's a very good shout, to be honest. I didn't know he was
Minta's a good
21
shout, yeah.
because he'll play a lot of games.
What about Archie Gray, maybe?
I'll just go Coleman and go safe. I don't think he'll have the greatest season, but he's a
I
United
think
player.
he'll have a good season, but United won't. And I've never seen an award go like that. Like you almost,
Palmer.
yeah, potentially. But Palmer had so many goals and assists that it was undeniable. You know, I think these
Yeah,
awards are really like Mainu's a different type of footballer. But yeah, it's a shout. I don't know. I think Menta will be definitely up there with the goals and assists. I think Enciso will be up there, but I think Bajatic, just because I think Liverpool will place higher in the table, that it becomes a little bit political at that point.
Yeah, I think I'm going to Chris. I think Mainu's a good shout. Out of all of them, I think out of all the reasoning, I can't look past Manu. He's English. He's plays for United. He's gonna have a decent-ish season. They're gonna have a shit season. He's gonna have a good season. And
Wait, George, who did you settle on?
he's a
Bajatic.
Bajatic.
Okay. What was the last one I was going to ask? First manager to be sacked. I think.
Maresca.
I was just about to say him. I think he gets sacked early.
I think by December, and you know what? He'll do well to get to December. I think. Okay, look, they have to give him months because of what they've said in the media. But also, another thing to think about, guys, is if you get a transfer ban, can you hire managers, or is that only player specific?
It's only player specific because their last transfer ban, they had a manager.
Right. Okay. So then,
They hired Frank Lampard, didn't it?
yeah. Regardless, I just don't think. By the way, Maresca is doing the right thing in terms of trying to teach this team possession football, but they don't have possession players, and they don't have.
But
smart
he's
players.
also doing the wrong thing in
Yeah.
looking at that team and thinking Reece James is the guy I need to invert. It doesn't.
Crazy. I said
doesn't
it
make any
before in a
sense.
Twitter post. Like I didn't mean it jokingly. They should have looked at Zinchenko. They 100% should have looked at somebody that would play that inverted role really well. And I mean, to be fair, I think they might want Cucurella still. Like I still predicted that Cucurella would be the one inside with Reese outside, according to his system. But I mean, he's got to wait from the Euros perspective. But no, still, I think look, Chelsea for me are going to really struggle, mate. They're going to really struggle. I don't see. I'm not confident in the distances I'm seeing coach. These are just basics, and that squad are not. They're not patient. That fan base is not patient enough. Do you think that they can go longer than Arteta's 11-game losing run and be okay? That's basically what I'm predicting.
The problem with Chelsea is the money that they spend. You can't give someone that much time. I think for them it was the signing of Maresca was even wrong. Poch going in the first place was wrong, especially considering them winning the last 5 games, going from I think 12th to 6th. They ended up 6th, and they go into the summer, start all over again with new players. They have, I think they've had 6 managers under Bowley, so it's showing that they are very, very quick to sack someone if something's not going right. I think if they look like us when we got Arteta, 15th, I think we were. If you're 15th in November, then yeah, it makes a lot of sense to sack your manager. And
I mean, Steve Cooper is going to be a shout. I just think Leicester will be definite relegation candidates. So
yeah,
I'm not going either. I don't think either will be first. I think it'll be Russell Martin. I think that squad is not good, and they're going to panic mid-season. Their squad is crap. You've seen their squad.
Yeah, but don't the club love him? Don't the club love Russell Martin? Like, they really back him.
Yeah, but he remember they got in on the playoffs. They expect this possession style football now from him. They haven't got the ability to play that here. And it's a classic case of really good in the championship, come up, look really bad, and then panic. I just think that they've still got likes of Bella Kotchap and Alcaraz on their books. It's still a lot of the guys they tried to get out on loan, they've come back for another relegation party. It's not a good squad. I think Flynn Downs is the best acquisition they've made.
I feel like people like in the relegation sides make these decisions after November. And I'm legitimately, I have this feeling that Chelsea are going to start so poorly. There's going to be a period of, can he survive?
The other thing with Chelsea is you don't know when that news will drop. You know, the charges, whatever shit from before, the Roman
I think
stuff.
it's coming in a month. I think by September.
If it comes September and they're doing badly, it could happen the same effect that happened during the ownership change, where everything kind of just went to shit. So yeah, of course. But I just think with like just on general principles of how managers get sacked, especially in the relegation fight, I think Russell Martin's definitely up there. Definitely 100% up there.
I think for Chelsea, because they play like 4 of the big 6 by the 9th of November. Like, if they lose all of them, like, and they play like Palace, West Ham, Wolves, Newcastle, tough Brighton, tough games in between them, they could have already dropped points 6 times, 7 times by the time it gets to November. And at that rate, they'll be falling in the table quick. And can they afford to do that? Again, considering the poor start last season. Obviously, they got injuries. This year, only Reece James is injured, so the excuse of injuries is gone. But you've also had the rat Gusto play a whole season in Reece's place, so the impact of him going last season isn't the same. And apart from, they don't really have an excuse that you can just fall upon. Like, oh, Reece James is gone, Chilwell's gone. Like Cucurella was in the Euros team of the tournament. He had an alright tournament. Let me not say undeserved. It was good for his PR. I don't rate him at all. I think he'll be poor when he comes back to the Prem. And then the centre backs, Thiago Silva's gone, but they're getting rid of Chalobah. They've got too many players also.
Man, Chalobah, I'm telling you that I've never felt as like angry at a rival player being treated as much as I have Chalobah. You guys both know how much I rate Chalobah and I love Chalobah, but that is, I don't know how on like any Chelsea fan can defend that. I don't know
He's
how.
got the best win percentage of any player at that club.
And you know what it is,
anytime
right?
he plays,
Is that
plays
you're
well.
starting guys like Fofana, you're starting guys that are injury risks.
Yeah.
And you've got this guy that performed well for you in the running. The one game that they did really well in was City away, and they got a draw. Next game against us, he gets dropped 5-0 bashing. Like the way that they've treated him this entire, I don't know, man. I can't justify it. I can't say any. There's no reason for him to be treated like that. It's just not on. So same with Gallagher. Like Gallagher is like they talk to him like he's just like some sort of dog. He's probably one of their best players last season.
He played every game last season.
Every game. He captained them. And he
Like,
tried.
That club will never ever prioritize a player from the academy over the player they signed up. I think that's enough on Chelsea, considering where we think they'll finish. Listen, so Maresca, and
Russell Martin.
Okay, that's it for me. So I'll go into relegation. What 3 teams, 20th, 19th, and 18th, do you guys think are going to get relegated?
You go first.
Me, cool. I think Leicester's 100% going down. That was my 20th. That was the only thing I was pretty confident on.
Any objections? I think we're all agreed on that.
Yeah, Leicester's going down. I've got a soft spot for Ipswich, so I couldn't put them in the bottom 3. I have Southampton 19th.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'm agreed with so far. I got Forest next.
Sorry?
I got Forest next.
Logically, I was going there, but
I do too. I have Forest.
I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I like too many of their attackers. So I have
Forest going down as well.
I put Everton to go down. Finally.
Really?
Yeah, I think
under Dyche, they're stable, no PSR nonsense. Branthwaite staying.
It's not about PSR. I think they just waste.
No, but I'm just saying there's no more
nonsense
in terms of like. There's no more nonsense in terms of points deductions or anything like this.
Yeah.
And there's my point is that they've kept Branthwaite. They've got a stable-ish side. I think I had them like 14th, 15th. I didn't have them near. You know?
Yeah, knowing them, if I was being 100% honest with myself, Forest and Ipswich would have been a lot closer than.
Yeah, Ipswich was hard. It was either Ipswich, Wolves, or Forest. It was between those 3, and
I think it's Forest.
I think it's Forest. To be honest,
I just can't put them to go down. That's the honest truth. So I can't predict them to go down because I'm scared something like that will happen. So I'll just put Everton. I do agree, Forest. They haven't made many improvements in the summer. Elliot Anderson is their biggest signing.
They do have a good attack though. Cho Elanga or Awoniyi is decent.
Cho Elanga, Awoniyi, Chris Wood, Morgan Gibbs.
I don't know. I think Everton have done well.
They will score goals. It's just
I'll never mention Chris Wood to me again. That mother.
I think Everton have done well because guys, remember they've got Lindstrom from Napoli. They've got Ndiaye from Marseille. So yeah, no, I think they did pretty good. I don't know. Yeah, I'm definitely saying that Forest will be relegated. It'll be Forest, Southampton, Leicester for me.
they still have Ashley Young and Seamus Coleman as fullback options that will get good minutes. So they will concede goals as well, a lot of goals, like they do every year. But it's about, will they score goals when Calvert-Lewin gets injured? Because he will. And Beto, as we saw last season, didn't do the business that they thought he would do. He scored 3 goals, I think, in 30 games. So yeah, I don't think Beto will do the business, but it's about their wingers, as it always is.
You know what's
with
crazy?
Everton.
It starts to get a little bit tacky for me.
Not after that.
After that, it really does, because the next 3, so like 17th to 15th, are extremely tight to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'll go since I'm talking, but I think I've basically got Wolves, I've got Ipswich, and I just finished kind of hyping them up, but I think unfortunately Everton.
You got Everton
Yeah,
15th.
I've got Wolves, Ipswich, Everton.
And I think in that order, by the way, like Wolves,
agreed.
Ipswich, Everton.
Wolves, Ipswich, yeah. Agreed.
I've got Wolves, Forest, Ipswich. I think.
Where you can't have Everton, can you?
Well, I've got Everton 18th.
Yeah, but I'm saying we've got Everton. You literally can't have Everton.
The problem, anyways, I think with the 18th spot, I think it's pretty close. Just because a lot of them have attackers that can get you out of games. I think Wolves.
Well, Wolves have lost Kilman and Neto.
Yeah, Wolves are losing that. Wolves lost that.
They need to buy some
but
players.
they probably got the best coach of the lot.
But they just got Jon Wissa as like
Maybe for 25
inquiry,
million.
which would be huge for them. And then Brentford are going to reinvest that. You know, I got a nice Eddie Nketiah for you if you want. But no, I think I genuinely think Forest would be 18th for me. Then I go Wolves, Ipswich, and then Everton. And
why are you so confident that Forest?
The main tough one is
going down?
Wolves or Ipswich, because Ipswich could be 17th.
I think Wolves do something business-wise.
If Wolves do something, then they go above Ipswich.
Forest, for me,
now they're just below Ipswich.
Forest want a striker. Like, look, you know what's tough? Forest and Wolves, for me, could interchange very easily.
I think for me, Wolves have a horrible defense, maybe even worse than Forest. But their attackers aren't better than Forest either. So for me, they're below Forest.
Well, if they get Jon Wissa, which I think seems to be, I think they're going to do something. They're going to reinvest because they've got a lot of money, and I think they will. Like,
especially if they do. If Brentford lose Tony as well, they'll definitely.
No, I don't. Where would Tony go?
United.
They just got Xerxes, you know.
They're weird, man. Who knows what
I don't see Tony leaving this summer.
Tony could also go Saudi, remember?
I think Tony, Buemo, and Carvalho is their front three.
By the way.
Yeah, very good front three.
Would you not have Carvalho like deeper?
He could be
10 left wing. He played left wing in the championship.
Yeah, he could either. He could be like, ideally, how I would do it is I'd have like a double like striker partnership with Buemo and Tony working off each other. Yeah. Maybe like Carvalho in the hole. Like, I think that would be
that
really
makes more sense.
He said that's what he's gonna play. That's what he was saying in his interview for Brentford.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, the first one they were talking about him being just behind the 2 strikers. That's what him and the interview were
personally
talking about.
they need a left winger personally, because you have Wissa one side. Yeah, Wissa one side.
Wissa will play on the left, Buemo on the right.
Honestly, I just wish Brentford would have maybe a little bit of a better defense for me. I actually think they've got a really good team.
They got Nathan Collins, and since that they haven't invested.
Yeah, it's kind of strange, but they've also got Aaron Hickey, right?
Yeah,
who's pretty decent.
Hopefully he stays fit the whole season.
Yeah,
Rico Henry got injured as well, so hopefully he stays fit.
Again, another team that could use Chalobah. There's a good shout for Chalobah at most teams at some point. But anyways, to get back to what we were saying, like 100, like for me, I'd say Wolves, Ipswich, Everton. I think Everton and Dyche have too much in the locker. and they've actually recruited pretty decently in midfield, and they've got Lindstrom's a really strong signing for me. That they're definitely above Ipswich, and I think everybody thinks Ipswich. Like I was seeing media and stuff that they're going to be 10th, and I'm like, I don't
Impossible.
think you. Yeah, I don't think you
Sorry.
understand how like top
Ooh.
the league is right now. And by the way, I like Ipswich. I think like
above Palace.
I've watched a lot of Ipswich, and that's like
Is it
with
impossible?
no disrespect, that's impossible. They're not going to finish top 10.
No, but the thing is,
they're another
you
team
forget
that
media
should've-
starts run out of narratives every year. There's an overachieving, championship team that is insane, and they've just
Not last year.
anointed it to be Ipswich.
Yeah, but last year they all went straight back down.
I know, but
I know.
I'm just reiterating the word narrative.
Yeah.
Everyone wants their Bournemouth when they came up, or Leicester, or something like this.
Or
where
Wolves.
Exactly. They want that kind of, that story. So
The Prem like is just getting too good. Sad for the championship teams, but the quality is leaking down with loans. Like you see it with Omari Hutchinson, for example. That quality.
What do you think of Reece Nelson at Ipswich with a Leaf Davies overlap with Amari on the other side?
Goals, Liam Delap should have a good season as well.
He should.
I remember someone saying,
"Where do you have him playing?"
Liam Delap,
up top.
Yeah,
like starting up top.
Yeah, 100%. I think with them, with Ipswich, their defense is good. Like it's been Johnson's good Premier League edition. They didn't concede as many goals as the other promoted teams last season. Overlapping fullback was nearly the record holder for the most assists in the championship. Omari had a very good championship season. It'll be interesting to see him against the Prem left backs. If you go across the league, left back isn't the strongest position, so he could have a good season himself. But yeah, Ipswich, I'm a bit more optimistic on them than you guys, but I don't think they'll get relegated of all the teams there. Who did you guys have 15th again? You have Wolves, George.
Everton. I had Everton. It was Everton, Ipswich, and
Wolves.
Wolves for me.
Oh, for me it was Wolves, Forest, Ipswich. I might switch Wolves and Everton, but I'm not going to switch it now because you guys have Everton.
But mate, from 14th up, this is impossible to call. Like genuinely. I mean, actually, no, I'm a lying. Okay, I think 14th. I'm pretty confident it'll be Bournemouth right now, depending on what they do for signings. But then if they get Eddie, that changes. Like it legitimately changes. But Bournemouth without Solanke right now, 14th.
Karen, who do you have 14th? Because you seem to disagree.
Yeah, I mean, kinda, but
look who's left in the league.
I know, but personally, I have. You guys are gonna kill me. I have Fulham. I think that they're gonna finish. I think they're gonna finish a bit lower than people think. Below Bournemouth. I have Bournemouth 13th, Fulham 14th.
You know, Solanke was 40% of their GA last season.
I know, but I assume they're getting Eddie. But I think Fulham are being very, very. I think obviously
Emil Robinson.
I know Emil Robinson. I know their defense is not as good as people think it is. I think Leonard's.
They're getting Diego Carlos, or they want, and they also want Anderson, don't they?
Yeah, they want Anderson.
They offered 30 mil for Anderson.
So I think they'll get him.
Anderson isn't great. Is Anderson great anymore?
He's good.
He's better than Bournemouth centre-backs.
But he's not.
He's better than Bournemouth.
Is their defense better than Bournemouth's defense?
Yeah. I would have Fulham, especially with Anderson.
Let me check Bournemouth. Adam Smith, horrible right back. Ilya Zabani, Senesi, and Milos Kerkez. And Fulham's defense is Anthony Robinson, Calvin Bassey, Issa Diop, and Kenny Tete. If you could switch Diop for Anderson,
I'd have that. I'd have that back line any day.
I'd have the Bournemouth back line. I think Bassey is a bit of a train wreck, and Diop.
If Anderson goes, Diop.
If Anderson goes, look. The thing is, if Anderson goes and Eddie goes,
I prefer Fulham because the defense gets
I,
Eddie and Bournemouth.
I just think that they're let me get this straight. Going forward, they're going to be excellent. Emil, Iwobi,
Adama Traore, Rodrigo
the Brazilian
Muniz.
dude, what's his name? The Brazilian guy. The Brazilian guy up top that they have. Rodrigo, whatever his name is. Muniz, he's decent. They have good going forward.
You've
But
got
I think
Adama probably off the bench. Pereira.
they're very good at going forward. But I just think that going back, they're going to concede a lot.
No,
I think with Fulham,
Tosin, dude.
I would be a lot more
Tosin covered
confident.
a lot of
their what's his name?
their flaws last year. And I
they
don't think
haven't
Anderson can do that.
now, so
that's why. I think they'll be safe and they'll be comfortably safe, but I don't think they're doing better than a Bournemouth or a Palace.
I legit think we have to debate position by position at this point.
Yeah, I agree because
I can't give you three.
So who do you have? Or you? I've got Bournemouth 14th as well.
Yes.
Who have you got 13th out of curiosity?
I want to wait.
No. I have a question. Who's 13th?
Oh God.
I remember.
Have you guys got Fulham finishing top 10? I want to know.
No,
George?
No, I don't have him top 10, but
it's not that outrageous, is it?
I just don't see Bournemouth
they're
going
close. They're
above
close.
them. I don't see how Bournemouth.
Let's be real. The teams in this bracket are Fulham, Palace,
Brentford,
West Ham.
No, West Ham will be
Brighton. I think Fulham, Palace, Brentford,
Brighton. Yeah, those are the five I was going to name. I think West Ham are going to finish the best out of those five. Right, then Brighton. Then
okay. I'm comfortable after Bournemouth. For me, it would be Brentford right now. Actually,
yeah, I have Brentford 13th. That's exactly what I have.
I think they're going to leak so many goals.
Who? Brentford?
Their defense just like every.
This is the thing. It was between Bournemouth or Brentford for this. I'm sorry, Brentford or Fulham for this because both of them have leaky defenses.
I'm going to go Brentford, Fulham.
I have Fulham, Brentford, and then Bournemouth.
You have Bournemouth 12th.
I think they get Eddie, and I think they do well with Eddie. Where did they come last season? Bournemouth.
They came 12th. Tied on points with 11th.
I don't think that's too crazy personally.
They just lost their best player.
And they're getting a good one to replace him in Eddie.
Yeah, but they lost their best player.
Yeah, and they're getting another good one to replace him in Eddie.
Fulham lost Paulinho.
Let me caveat this. If Bournemouth do not get Eddie, then put them where you guys saying 14th. If they get Eddie, they're 12th. That's how big a difference Eddie is.
Cool. Who do you guys have 11th? Then because in fact, no, actually, who do you have 12th? Bournemouth. Who do you have 13th?
Brentford.
I agree.
I think I said Brentford, right? Brentford and then Fulham, 12th.
Yeah, so I think it's easy to move on to 11th. I've got Brighton 11th.
Yeah, Brighton 11th, correct.
Who do you have 11th, Joe?
I don't know. I am debating Palace. It's just how they replace everybody. If they rip Anderson and Gahey out, how are they going to they've got to replace?
They'll get Trev.
And Brighton are an established team with nobody leaving.
Yeah.
And
the thing with Brighton is
apart from Pascal,
the new system.
Yes.
This guy is a bit shit, housey crazy kind of on. Does a lot of shitty shit. It's not.
No, it's unknown. He's like.
No, George, don't. No.
Their squad is too good.
It's nonsense.
They've got more quality than Palace have, but Palace have a better manager.
George, have you seen the distances in his shit? He has crazy distances. You can't do this in this league.
He's got too much quality. Kadioglu, Matt's Weifer,
Look.
additions.
I'm not saying that he's
Fiso being back,
Thomas
Toma,
fit.
Ferguson.
if he doesn't have
Solly
that,
March
he's
is back.
finishing 15th, 16th. The quality that he has gets him 11th, but he has I'm begging you, lot, watch his Bundesliga stuff. The distances are crazy. He just leaves crazy distances, and you can't do that in this league. You can't leave distances in this league.
Their team has so many goals in it, though.
It's there's a lot of goals in it. 100%.
Adingra, Matoma, Enciso, Ferguson, Welbeck. Sarmiento scored a lot of goals for Ipswich last season, the champ. Jao Pedro, I forgot, plays their pens. Damn. Koza Dubri's not getting no minutes there.
No.
He's not getting any minutes.
At all.
But yeah. And
Shame.
Palace. I've got Palace 10th.
I have Palace 10th. And I West Ham.
Yeah, I basically have it switched, to be honest, because
Yeah.
I don't know how Palace are going to how they're going to do it. Yeah.
I don't see both centre backs leaving. 100 million for your centre back parent is.
Does
great
anyone
money.
not have West Ham 9th?
I've been debating it today.
There were 3 things that I was curious about. The relegation. I think we're all our top 8 is going to be 7 is going to be the same. I didn't know where you lot would put West Ham. I didn't know where you lot would put Fulham. I didn't know where your relegation spots would be.
I don't think
I'm curious. Where have you lot got West Ham? 9th? I've got them 9th.
West Ham options are very, very good, but
Everyone's options are very good at this point.
no, not everyone's.
Well,
Manchester
top
United,
8, who's got bad options?
Not bad. Manchester United have the greatest of options without Liniola's out for 3 months.
Yeah, they just
know.
brought the Ligt in.
Hoyland's out for 5 weeks. Luke Shaw's out.
The
Malasca's
Ligt is
out.
a yikes of a signing. That is
I know,
not gonna work.
but he's better than what West Ham have.
Tadebo's better
Whoa.
than Matej Ligt.
He's not better than what West Ham have. Tadebo's better than De Ligt.
Tadebo is better than him, to be fair. Yeah,
And
Tadebo.
Agerd is better than De Ligt as well.
But I don't like Lopetegui. I didn't like who he did at Wolves.
Me neither. If it was Moyes, I'd be a lot more confident.
Agreed.
But West Ham is literally just playing Premier League. They've got no Europe, as Yo just said. That's how I've been struggling between putting them 9th and 8th. But
I've got him 9th personally.
do I keep them 9th? That's the question. The attacking options are very good. Bowen always gets
Yep.
a good chunk of goals. Last season he had 16. Antonio gone is beneficial, I think. Not gone, but to the bench is beneficial for the team. Fulcrook adds ball striking, but off the ball, he's nowhere near as good.
Man, you know what? This is not even me trying to banter. I'm trying to think, are we really saying that Chelsea and United's squads are better than Brighton and West Ham?
First of all, right? No. I'll humor him this. I'll humor him this, right?
We're saying Maresca could potentially be sacked, yeah?
I will 100%.
Yeah.
But no, I agree completely. But the thing is, that Hursley guy is.
I've never watched this.
I can't do it. I can't do it. Okay, I can't.
I can't comment.
I've watched it. I haven't watched a ton, but what I have watched, brother, the distances. Like, I'm going to keep saying until someone listens. The distances are just too much. The way he spaces his team out, it looks like a circle. It's not normal. You can't do that in this league. And I mean, we'll see. We'll see if we'll see. I mean, I think I've got Chelsea 7th, just out of just.
You got 8th. You haven't said you got 8th.
Who's left? Newcastle, I think. Yeah, Newcastle.
You got Newcastle 8th.
Newcastle, then
Chelsea. I mean, not currently. George,
then
you haven't
United.
said you got 9th, 8th.
Before
currently. Yeah.
I know, because I had Brighton there, and I'm legitimately thinking right now.
You had Brighton 9th, you see?
10th.
Yeah. Who do you have 9th?
Yeah. Chelsea. Well, I don't know, but all this can look, if Chelsea get a striker and they get Osimhen, then you're talking a different story. But right now, this Chelsea team.
What if the striker is Felix? Ooh.
That's actually a realistic possibility.
That's why I said it. I'm not just that's just what could happen.
No, I'm a bat. We can change this, but Chelsea aren't finishing ahead of this West Ham team. This version of Chelsea, for me.
You know what I love is that they've got City with Taylor reffing it the first day.
Yeah, they hate it.
And they've just had a horrible preseason.
But I think with Chelsea, obviously, Maresca's.
Where do you look at Newcastle?
Maresca's not going to drop Dewsbury Hall.
High. How high?
Yeah.
5th.
Chris?
What?
Newcastle.
I've got 6th. Or
6th. I've got them 8th.
8th. I've got West Ham 9th, Chelsea 8th, and Manchester United 7th.
I got United 6th.
I think United bring in Ugarte. So
yikes.
That's worse for them.
I have United 8th.
And 7th.
West Ham.
I just think I don't trust Eddie Howe's ability to keep a squad together. I just don't.
I think with Chelsea,
their injuries always it just doesn't work. I
know
they don't have Champions League games this season, but it just I see what you guys are saying. 5th, 6th, perfectly respectful, but his ability just
without injuries, Newcastle would not have dropped off the way they did last year.
Obviously,
yeah,
obviously. But
and they've got
I do think they drop off again. What evidence is there that they won't drop off again?
They've got better fullbacks and their midfield's back. With that midfield, they finished 4th. And then now they've got no Trippier won't start. Dan Burn won't start.
So is Bruno staying, or is he going to City? Is Bruno staying, or is he going to City?
Even if he goes,
they've got Joe Willock, they've got Tonali, they've got Joe Linton.
They just need an anchor, and if they went, they could spend 60 million on Gahey, get a top back line. They could sit there
and
get
Botman.
Something as an anchor, whatever you want as an anchor.
Yeah, I think Newcastle
Cardoso or something. I don't know.
Yeah. With Chelsea, for me, the options in the squad are some of the best you can get around, but
there's too many options.
Also, the manager's obsessed with Dewsbury Hall. Of all the midfielders there, he's obsessed with Dewsbury Hall. Obviously, he came with him. Dewsbury Hall is not even top 5 of Chelsea's midfielders right now. And then their attack, Nkunku, Palmer, Jackson is going to miss a lot of chances.
Okay, I've sorted it in my mind. I've got some clarity.
Nkunku and Palmer, right?
Yeah,
no,
both of them.
I'm calling it right now. Okay, so here I'm going to back some chest.
And Neto, actually, I forgot Neto, but you'll play 20 games.
Euro out for 3 months is horrific, and Matthias de Ligt is a mistake waiting to happen. Xerxes will do really well for them with Rashford, but if they get Ugarte, I'm licking my lips. I think that is a horrible signing for them. I think Chelsea, the only reason that they'll finish a little bit less is I think that not only is Maresca gonna make the distances horrible, but I think that Erik ten Hag will have just a little bit. Well, they have more quality, generally speaking. I think it's unfair for me to put them below West Ham. I think that was a little bit over egregious. So I'm gonna go. Chelsea are going to be 9th, though. I think West Ham are going to be 8th, and I think United will be 7th.
Okay.
Are we going to go up, and then we're going to do the front 6, or how are we going to?
One by one, yeah, one by one. But I've got West Ham 9th, Chelsea 8th, United 7th. I just have flipped, and Karen's got. Karen, what have you got?
West Ham 9th.
Yep.
Newcastle 8th, Chelsea 7th, United 6th.
I've got Newcastle 6th. I might move them to 5th because they've got no Europe.
I got Villa 6th and then Newcastle 5th.
I'm thinking of switching them because of the no Europe factor.
Exactly what I had.
But Villa have got a good squad.
Very good
offensively.
squad. But they also have more fixtures to compete with.
Yeah, a lot more.
And Newcastle, for me, have the better attack. They've got the better defense.
The midfield they don't because they don't have an anchor.
Exactly. So that's can you imagine if Onana went to Newcastle?
Yeah, I don't want to think about that, to be honest.
I think it will be close between them.
Let me say this. If Onana went to Newcastle, that's one of the biggest holes they have filled. That takes up 3 or 4 spaces alone because of the spaces
I think
he covers.
Onana was still. I personally don't rate Onana as high as a 6.
No, but the thing is, he'll play in a pivot.
In Newcastle,
They'd have to. If they're going to buy him, you can't play him lone, can you?
they play Bruno G lone. They would whoever Eddie Howe gets as a 6 will play him as a lone 6.
It's nonsense. Bruno as a 6 is nonsense as to start with.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, honestly, if you look how Villa have used him, he's not completely alone. The spacing is quite close.
and
It's
Villa,
not.
Kamara's still there. He never left.
Kamara's still there as well, and he's coming back.
Yeah, when he's back from injury. So, yeah. So fifth.
Sorry?
Fifth, you said Newcastle. Karen, you said Villa, right?
No. I haven't said 5th yet.
Who's your 6th, Karen? Karen, you said 6th.
United.
And 5th?
I'm gonna say Villa, but I hadn't said it yet.
Okay, I thought you said yeah, I've got Villa 5th as well. I might switch with Newcastle just because of it.
I've got it switched. I've got
Europe.
Newcastle 5th.
Emery loves a European run. He might.
That's
I just want to see
I have them 5th. If it wasn't Emery in Europe, then I would have had them 4th.
I want to see their group. Obviously, next time when we at the end of the window, when all these big changes happen, we'll revisit these, and we'll see the Champions League draw by then as well. So, if they've got hard,
no more hiding. Top 4.
I'll go first. 4th, I've got Tottenham.
I think we're all going to have the same thing, isn't it?
I think you mean your top 4 is the same, Chris.
I think all of our top 4 is the same.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because it is actually. Yeah.
4th,
Spurs, Liverpool, City, us.
3rd, Liverpool, Arsenal 2nd, City 1st.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh God, it's actually so demoralizing not winning the league, you know.
Oh God.
But, yeah, Arsenal 1st. I think 3rd time's the charm.
It has to be, doesn't it?
Have you guys had a look at this league though? Like genuinely from 15th onward. Have a look at that. And I think we should run through our teams once more. Like I've got it right now. So here I'll go first. So I've got Leicester in 20th. 19th, I've got Southampton. 18th, I've got Forest. Then I've got Wolves in 17th. Ipswich at 16th. Everton at 15th. I've got Bournemouth 14th. Then Brentford, Fulham, Palace, Brighton, Chelsea, West Ham, United 7th, Villa, Newcastle, Spurs, Liverpool, City, and then Arsenal. I mean, going from 14th or 15th in the league upwards is you could genuinely flip many teams. And it depends a lot on the transfer window. I mean, Bournemouth could jump up a couple places with Eddie. Brentford, Fulham, Palace, these guys are all involved in a lot of transfer sagas. So it's it's kind of crazy. And I think Liverpool are actually very lucky that they've got 3 all-timers in their squad.
Let's see how long it stays that way, to be honest.
It'll stay this way for this season.
Yeah.
I think. But other than that, I don't think they stay. So, yeah. Actually, I don't know. What do you guys think of this? I mean, Yo-Yo says that there's a lot of meaty teams in the Prem. I think the opposite. I think there's a lot of very good teams.
I think there's a lot of offensive quality in the Prem right now. I think defensively, some of the teams at the bottom are going to cover. Like Leicester's going to have a couple 5s.
Yeah.
Leicester, Southampton. even Everton last season had a couple like 4-2s. But that's not Dyche's style to concede 4, 5, 6, unless it's against Man City. Forest, they will have an end-to-end battle apart from against Arsenal. So I think if you go lower down the league, there will be a lot of like defensively, but offensively, I think that a lot of the bottom teams can score the best of them in Europe, let alone in the Prem. So I think like top 10, no, maybe top 12, top 13, all round are some good teams. Below that, then you get the defenses that concede a lot of goals. But I think the Prem's in a very good spot right now. In the past, it would have been a lot easier to go from first to seventh, first to eighth. We spoke about 10th to 6th a lot. Like, we're considering Chelsea, who have spent the most money by far in the past 3 years to finish 8th outside of Europe. Crazy work. West Ham, you said, have had the best window and they're only 9th. So in the past, the team with the best window probably would end up 6th or 5th. So yeah, I think around the middle of the pack, it's getting leveled out. The top 2 are still a distance away from the rest, I believe. And when we get to March, we'll probably see a gap between the top 2 and the rest.
I think even sooner. I think even sooner. I think we'll see. I think we'll see a gap legitimately before the turn of the new year. To be honest, I think
December. That's early. Last year, Tottenham led a lot at the start. Obviously, by December they weren't.
I think it's because Arsenal needs to start strong. Arsenal are going to set the pace, and City will respond. Right? City respond in kind. Arsenal's toughest schedule is at the beginning of the season. The first 10 to 15 games of the season are Arsenal's toughest, and then we actually get quite easy at the end. And I think City have a pretty easy schedule, but they're going to go blow for blow with Arsenal. And if Arsenal starts strong, City will start strong. And I think that's going to have to.
City don't start strong though.
Not well. Historically, they typically continue towards the end of the season, but they're going to be forced to. Current. They're going to be forced to.
I do think that
we won't win by
distance. They're still finding players to come back as well.
I don't think we win the Premier League convincingly. It'll still be a very close fight. I'm not.
I think last season City started strong last season.
Well, stronger than us. They did. They
won their first 6 and they were above us. But the season
there was
before,
a period in October, November that they didn't do very well, and then ours came in December.
We beat them. Wolves beat them, so we went above them.
Yeah.
But this season, obviously, we do play them quite early again, September, pretty early considering like the season before we played them. The horrible result. We played them twice in 2023, right? In 22-23, we played them twice after January, I think. But the last 2 seasons we've played them in September pretty early considering what used to happen. But I think it's nice to play City away first half of the season rather than playing them second half of the season with all the bearing on the game and people getting so scared and people worrying that we'll lose it. But if you guys think we'll win the league, how many points do you think it will be between the top 4? So like first to second, second to third, third to fourth.
I think first to second will be within 5 points, and then there'll be a pretty significant gap of about 8 points or so from third. And then I think from third until maybe from third to fourth, it'll be 5 points. And then after that, it's going to be within a point.
Free for all, yeah.
Yeah.
Currently, I think
first, second will be like 2 points. Then it'll be like 5. And then it'll be like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Like I don't think it'll be. I think there'll be a gap between us 2 and third. It will remind me. Remember the season after Chelsea won the champs?
Yeah.
And Chelsea came third, and there was like that Liverpool City back and forth, and then Chelsea were just like comfortable third, and then we had that
21-22.
we had that top 4 battle with Spurs, and then the rest of it happened. So I think it'll be quite similar to that. I think it'll be like 1 or 2 points the top of the table, then maybe like 5-ish points, and then 1-2, 1-2.
I think the top 2 normally I'd be outlandish and say like 5 points or like 6 points, like 2 wins. But I just don't have the energy for that anymore. I think it will be like 3 points, 1 win in between it, because I think we beat them twice. From Man City to Liverpool could be like 10 points. A lot of, I think the gap will be, what was it last season? 8 points, I think, between us and Liverpool. Last season it was 7 points between us and Liverpool. So I think it will be like 10 points between City and Liverpool, and then between Liverpool and Tottenham it could be like another 5.
That's what I said.
Yeah, so I think fourth will be around 60, 67, 68 points, and first will be around 90 points. If my maths is correct.
I don't think that we're going to have a high-scoring Premier League campaign. I really don't.
What's high scoring nowadays then? Because it's
90
been
plus.
90. It's been 90. I mean, it's been 89 plus what?
Yeah,
Every
like
year.
I don't think the winner, like, okay, if you get 94 or so, like, you'll guarantee the league, in my opinion. But I really don't think. I think the league will be won in the 80s.
Yeah, like
I really do.
high 80s.
Yeah.
The last time it was lower is 2021 when City won with 86.
Well, I mean, don't forget that there have been times when second has been like 70 points.
Yeah, second in 2021 when United was second was 74 points. I only know that.
Like, I swear Spurs finished 71, I think.
It's weird. Like, you'd think like lower points totals would mean lower quality. I think it's the complete opposite. I think the
I
quality of the
agree,
league
because that
is gonna
means
be
that
so
more teams
much.
would take points off the others.
Yeah, I think people are just going to take points off each other consistently all season.
Well, mid-80s has only happened once since 15-16.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be mid. I legit think like what Arsenal got wins them the Premier League last season will be the case.
89.
89.
Yeah, I think 89. Maybe 90. Maybe.
If we could break 90, I think that'd be
I think that guarantees it,
sort
though.
of-
Like I really, yeah, no, I don't see it really being a 90 plus season, to be honest with you. I see it being a high 80s win.
Quick question. Do you guys think the Alvarez sale is that impactful?
I think it's pretty impactful for them with the Oscar Bob injury. If you were, you know,
I think it's only impactful if they use the money. I think that's the main thing. I mean, in terms of what he offers them, he offered them some cover for KDB.
But in forward areas, like if they use this money on Bruno Guimaraes, I really don't think that that's a great use of funds.
On Oscar Bob, the Athletic have said it's a fracture, and he might be. I hope will be back before the end of 2024. Yeah.
Okay, so it's not a broken leg; it's just a fracture.
Yeah, fracture.
No, but still, I mean, I maintain the start of the league is where Arsenal could drop points. Like if you're looking, like I always look from an Arsenal perspective, right? The first 15 games, and then after that we start to get easier. So City have to make up ground from us in the first 3 months. That's where the league will be won and lost, in my opinion.
The thing is, we have a pretty tough start ourselves.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like we could lose the time that we could lose points is at the start. City
the one thing I maintain is if we can add another outlet. I think that's the main thing. If we can add another outlet in time for City away, I think we'll be fine league-wise.
Just get my boy. He's available. He's there. I don't get it.
Is there an addition that City could make in the next 2 weeks? And if we don't make a change, that would make you change us being first or second?
Not because of the quality, not because the quality of the player, but I'd be afraid if they got like Rafinha. Ironically, I think that would be such a smart purchase for City.
No, I know. If they got Musiala. they managed to get Musiala.
Of course,
if
but that's
they got, yeah,
Look,
but
they got the
that's
Alvarez money, okay, and he hasn't signed a
Musiala's
contract.
like
No, I know what you're thinking, and
top
I
10
don't
player in the
care.
world.
Okay,
he will never move now
look,
because
okay,
it's too late in the season. But
you asked me the question, and he has not signed, and they do have Alvarez money, so there is always the possibility that Pep can
Yeah,
go
but
and
he's
take
not like he'll be like a July signing, just starring it. Stars don't really move last 2 weeks of the window. Like superstars don't stars. Who's the last one to do that?
look,
Move in
I'm
the
saying it could happen.
Bayern won't let their best player go in the last couple of weeks of the window with company in his debut. They just and Musiala will not move himself. He won't
Or
want to
even
move.
maybe Sane, if they get Sane back.
No, I think Rafinha would be a top signing, especially with Holland. Like, look
Maybe
at
it'd
what
be
they
top
need.
signing for us. Let's be honest.
Rafinha is a good player, but I mean, I just think that he would be a top signing for City in terms of how they use their wingers out wide, and especially with the creative. Yeah.
The other question I was going to ask you is there a striker that isn't Osimhen that would move the needle for us?
Nope.
Chris?
Solanke, I would have said Solanke. I think he's better. Okay, let me speak then. I think he's better than what we have. So
he's better than what we have, but does he solve the issues that we need him to solve?
No.
I think
does he run in behind the Etihad?
There's not a ready-made striker apart from Osimhen on the market anyways. So not really no.
And this is the thing I'm not going to just say to you guys, but say everyone at home. When you're looking at any attacker for this window, would they run in behind at the Etihad and win us that game? That's it.
So
that's the only thing that you need to ask. Would they be the difference in transition?
But the thing is, like, I don't think it just needs to be that. Like, people have asked me, okay, Osimhen's.
Oh no, it literally just needs to be that. It needs to be that. It needs to be that. I'm sorry.
So I'm reading the comments. Solanke's better than Havertz. I just want to make that.
There's no other question to answer, because what we miss is pace when we're penned in. That's the one thing we need.
So people always ask me, like, what would you do if Osimhen wasn't happening? Because everybody knows how much I've said that's a plan A. I've thought long and hard. The best way to use £85 million is to get Alphonso Davies and Rafinha. In that case, if you can't get the best striker to fix that, then you secure the best running power on the wings. That's what you need to do. And I don't see a left winger that I really love.
Ooh, that's a good point.
On the market, I think that.
What if City go for Eze?
I think that's fine. That's still, like, for me, that's a waste of funds. They've already got Grealish.
Waste of funds.
They don't have any pace in behind them on both sides. They need real pace on the wing. Because what's his name? Doku isn't a regular threat in behind, and he slows the ball down all the time. He never drives at players with pace. Eze won't add any pace to their team. He's better than Grealish, but he won't add any pace. They need like Hudson-Odoi or someone. My boy. Sorry. Hudson-Odoi, I think, is a great signing for any top team. He probably gets a move next year when Forest languish at the bottom again. But yeah, last thing, dark horse. I assume with your positions, you can say your dark horse.
Dark horse for what though?
Like the team that people don't think are gonna do all that you think, or dark horse for top 4, or dark horse for top 6, or dark horse, whichever way you interpret it. Because I don't want to. Because Villa could mean a lot of things.
Villa, I think the dark horse.
I think everybody likes Villa. Like, I don't know, it's tough.
Because I don't think everyone has Chelsea or Spurs or one of those guys. I think Villa have a very good shot at it.
I'd say Forest to not get relegated. Because I think a lot of people have them to go down over Ipswich. I just think their attack will score too many goals.
Look, I don't know about dark horse, because I think I really think that there's a lot of I think my Chelsea shout being so low, it's not really a dark horse, but that's a big call. That's a bold prediction.
That's a big underachiever.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe the dark horse could be for me. I think Fulham will do very well in the league generally, and I think
If they
that
sign a defender.
no, I think they will. It's just right now they haven't. That's why I have them so low. I think Fulham could be a dark horse for the league.
If they sign a defender, they push top 10. Even for me, I have them 14th, and I still think they can push top 10 if they sign a proper defender to replace Tosin, because Tosin was the one that covered Abassi a lot last season, and Robinson's great both ways. But
Chris, if you sell your center backs, it's looking peak.
It's not, man. We score too many goals. We just do score too many goals.
It'll be Chris Richards and bloody Chalobah, won't it?
No, but they're so efficient. Like, what's your sporting director? Critchley? Or Freeman?
Dougie Freeman.
Yeah, he's so smart. He's going to go to Chelsea and get Chalobah and see a look walk.
100%. But I think with Palace, anyway, I never really
Bashir as well.
The goals, Bashir Humphreys.
Yeah, I think that'd be good as well.
He was all right in the championship, but he's just weak. He's too weak right now.
But in a 3-back formation that Glasner plays, I think he'd be all right.
He needs to move away from that, man. Too many wingers. move Eze central. Put another winger out wide. Put Eze central. Kamada.
Unless you want to try this whole, I've seen some people
talk far out wide. Sorry,
you've got a lot of attacking prowess, but like I'm not playing. If you're playing 3 at the back, it's getting to the point where you're thinking.
Cheek Doucouré is back from injury, right? So you've got
Corey Wharton.
That's a top pivot.
Yeah. Don't talk about the right. Well, the right wing back's now Munoz. It's not Klein anymore. Good right wing back. Left wing back Mitchell.
Who's going to be your right wing? Your starting right? Huh?
Ismail Assar.
Mm-hmm.
Eze on the left and Mateta up top. Mateta looked dead for Olympics. I mean, in the Olympics final, so he probably won't start.
He's still bagged.
Yeah, he looked like at the end
of
the time.
It's weird though. I like Sarr at left wing,
but you can't play him there with Eze in a free for free.
No, I would put Eze as a free 10.
But say you put.
I know you've got Kamada. You've got Kamada that you've got to start. That's the weird thing.
Yeah, someone has to start on the right.
And I would have had Seiki, but you've got him off to Sheffield.
He's on loan. I'm going to watch a lot of championship football.
How about Ebiue? Is he gonna do anything?
He's on loan.
He's on loan. He came off the bench for Oxford. You know,
both him and Raksaki are on loan.
Yeah, Raksaki hasn't signed his deal yet, but everyone knows he's going to Sheffield.
Yeah. So yeah, the right wing, you guys are. It's kind of strange, to be honest.
That's what I keep telling them. How many times have I said, Chris, you should go for Reece?
They should go for no one. They've got 2 right wingers. But they got Sarr for cheap, innit? So if you're gonna get an outlet like that for cheap, you might as well take it. He's gonna play on the right for now. He could play on the left.
No, Sarr is a great option. It's not a bad signing. It's just the fact that you sent your 2 top right wingers out on loan.
I think if you're gonna bring in Sarr, one of them had to go. Like they weren't both gonna get enough minutes, especially with Kamada.
It's weird with Kamada. Yeah, it's weird with Kamada, isn't it? Like that's the spanner. With
Jordan Ayew is still on the club as well.
He'll be gone.
Yeah, I'll be gone.
I say that every year. Doesn't leave.
Someone needs to pick up Reece, man. It's getting ridiculous.
Guy doesn't leave. Do you think Reece leaves this summer?
Yeah,
I hope so.
I do.
It's gone from like yes to I hope so.
Do you think he stays in the Prem?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Where could Reece Nelson go?
Where? Wolves.
Stop copying me, man.
Copying you. It's time.
That's a good shot. Wolves got Cunha, Hwang Chan.
I still think Ipswich would be a great move for him.
Yeah, I heard that. But
even like Everton would be decent.
Think about it. Nelson Delap Hutchinson with Leif Davies on the outside. That's a top.
I can't wait to watch him. By the way, first weekend, I'm saying it now, Saturday, 12:30 kickoff. He's going to get an assist. Salah's going to get a brace.
I can't even watch the RB. I'm going to be at the game. I'm going to be at Wolves.
Salah's going to get an assist. Salah's going to get a brace, but Leif Davis will definitely get an assist. But
Atalanta are pushing Madrid.
I think for 2 years in a row we've all predicted Arsenal to win the league. Hopefully they don't fail us this time. I think when the Champions League draw happens, we'll predict the Champions League winner. I think a lot of people will just go with the favourites.
We need to finish top 8 in that thing. That's it. If we can finish top 8, we missed that playoff.
I think a lot of the people will go with their favourites, Real Madrid. But hopefully we have a comfortable season. No big injuries. Have let's win the league by 10 points. Let's not do no stressful title race. But
just do Liverpool 1920. Just win every game.
Yeah, thank you everyone for watching. It's been great interaction in the comments for our first stream back. We will be back soon, considering we do play this weekend and next week and so on and so forth. I think the overall message is Arsenal will finally win the league. But yeah, peace.